2026, and you're listening to the Tech Addicts Podcast. Brace yourself. This week, the Commodore Callback, Red Magic's gaming tablet 5 Pro, Google's got a new home speaker, farewell to the 2G network, Ted's got a new watch on his wrist, and how Sony has pissed everyone off. Hello and welcome to the Tech Addicts Podcast. It's the end of June and it's our last show for the month. And I'm Gareth and I'm joined as ever by Mr. Ted Salmon. How are you, Tedley Deadly?
Hello, I'm alright now that the blasted heat has gone. Thursday was a real killer up here. Mind you, I'm glad I wasn't in London or the South East, who had it even worse, like 36 and 37 degrees. At least it was only 34 here. I bet it didn't get to 34 on Thursday in Northern Ireland, did it?
No, it didn't, but if you remember, we have a large population of ginger people and, red hair and green teeth. So a lot of people tend to burn and melt around this time of year. But luckily I have, grey hair now. I used to be a young, pretty brunette, not anymore. But yes, it didn't get up too high. I think I was in the office on Tuesday and it managed to hit 26, but by the time I got home in the car, it was 19. My wife came out going, "Oh, it was so hot here, it got up to 21. I'm like, oh,
good grief. For goodness sake. Anyway, my mobile air conditioner was doing overtime, and I did conclude actually when it was 34 degrees in my static van, there was very little point in using the electric to have the thing on because it brought it down by about 2 degrees, and you think it's just not worth it. So air conditioning units are okay, but in a static van, they're for night times, not daytimes.
And even then you'll get the noise, so you can't get to sleep anyway.
Oh no, I've got used to that.
Oh, right. It was pretty warm last night, I noticed. It wasn't particularly warm here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during the night, but last night I was a wee bit uncomfortable.
Yes, I agree.
So I can't imagine what it was like in England and France as well. I feel sorry for the French and Spanish. Wow, those guys really suffered. My heart goes out to you if you're listening from there. Wow.
Yeah, apparently lots of people are sleeping in the public parks in Paris. To try and just get away from their apartments, which during the day have been baked.
Because they're covered in zinc.
Really?
Yeah, remember the Parisian rooftops that look so iconic and beautiful and have that nice sort of pigeon poo look with the grey zinc all over them. The zinc heats up and it keeps the heat in as well. So, it keeps the heat overnight too. So people are really, really sweltering in those. Heart goes out to you all.
I remember when I went to Paris once, and there was an unusual heat wave, and it was May, and it was about 1991 or 2 or something, and I headed for the cellars, or the whatever it's called, underneath the Sacré-Cœur, and it was gorgeous down there. I got away, I went in there and I never left. My wife at the time was out sightseeing, ignoring the heat, and I was just sat down there reading a book or something.
With a big bottle of wine. I got you.
Anyway, hopefully it won't come back this summer, but you never know, it might. We'll have to be vigilant.
Yeah, quite right. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because we are actually, as they were saying on the news, only at the start of the summer. We've got the hot part of the summer to go. We've got July and August, so, oh dear, can't imagine what's going to happen. And I'm due to go to Tenerife as well soon enough, and I'm worried that that's going to be part of the heat wave or something like that. because I don't fancy that now.
Mind you, if you go into a hotel, you're very likely to have air conditioning, so you can do a sacre-coeur, just go and sit in the hotel.
That's probably what I'll end up doing, and I'm just enjoying some Spanish beer. We were supposed to go to Egypt, but we cancelled that after Mr. Trump decided to start his whole Iran war thing. It was just seemed a wee bit too dangerous to go that far. But with that easing somewhat, it does seem like that would have been a potential. But it's going to be ridiculously hot there too in the middle of the summer.
It's really interesting that over the last few months, the world has adopted the pronunciation of Iran to be Iran. And that's just because of this. Before, British people particularly, we always used to say Iran. But now, even you, I noticed just now, we're all saying Iran, because that's how the Americans say it. And
well, I think it was actually, I'd say Apple actually started to with the iPhone and the iPad. So, you know, we really got cultured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, one thing that I can recommend is over on MeWe. Mr. Jeremy Hartham has put together a wee review of something I remember talking about on. Actually, it was when I was doing Talk Sport. I brought this to it, or one of these types of things, and I remember getting a whole rake of messages and things going, "Where can I get one of these? These sound great." But it's the Sony Rion Pocket 5. Which Jeremy's very kindly reviewed over there, which he picked up for £150 from Sony.co.uk, and well, actually he got it for £119, down from £150, including like cashback and things like that. So, Ted, what do you know about this?
Well, only what we spoke about way back in the day, like you said, which was that it's a thing that you put round your neck, and there's a lump of it that goes down the back of your neck, and the idea is that it cools you down through your clothing. So the idea is that you wear a loose shirt, and there's a neck band which goes around your neck. Now, Jeremy says that he reckons that the cheaper version of this, you don't want to have a neck size over about 18-inch collar, otherwise it's going to be just pressing into you. So which means that I would need to get the pro version, because my neck is bigger than that. But anyway, so you put this thing down there, you charge it up, and he reckons that it lasts for about 7 hours.
7 hours, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're using it at 50% power, 7 hours. So presumably, if you use it 100%, it's going to be less time than that. But yeah, that's the idea. Is you charge this thing up. It takes a USB-C, and it takes the thing about 3 hours to charge. And you stick it down the back of your neck, and it's supposed to cool you in places. You know how if you want to get cool, you stick your feet into cold water and it has an effect, or your wrist. You put your wrists into cold water and it has an effect on the rest of you. Well, I think this is the same principle, but it's down your back. And if they're saying that if your back is cool, then that will be felt by the rest of your body. His conclusion, though, is that the battery life is better than he expected so far. The cooling effect definitely is enough for him. He did some testing sitting in his home office where it was about 32 degrees, and he found that it was okay. I wouldn't buy the more expensive one, which can go cooler, because he doesn't feel he needs it. But he hasn't decided finally on that. But it does seem to be worth it to him. But yeah, I think if I was going to buy one, the more expensive one is 199 quid, I think, which means it would be a bigger outlay. But for me, like I said, with my big neck, that would be a needed thing anyway. It's just, like a lot of these things. I remember I bought this neck blower thingy. Can't remember what they're called now. But it's a kind of a thing you put round your neck, and it blows air. You charge it up, and it blows air upwards around the sides of your head.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's all right, but ultimately, you know, if the air around you is warm, it's just going to blow warm air around you. So I don't know. But anyway, it's a bit of an investment to risk 150 quid. I suppose if I buy it from Amazon, I can send it back. But actually, I don't think you can buy them from Amazon. I think you've got to go to Sony's.co.uk like Jeremy did. But anyway, what do you reckon?
Some of the images on his review there. The box has some Chinese dialect on it as well, whether it's Mandarin or I'm not sure what it is.
Japanese.
But it does.
It's Sony.
It's Japanese. Well, I don't know where it comes from. It could be anything, and it's so small. So it's obviously an international product that they're not putting on Amazon, but yeah, it sounds really good, and I can imagine you getting one of these and then having your anchor down your front, so it powers that constantly. Your big anchor battery. The two of them working in harmony as you walk around, and then buying another one and sticking it somewhere else. Oh, we'll not go there.
Yes, I'd love to try one though, without the risk. I suppose Sony is a decent company. They'll have a returns policy, won't they?
So I suppose that's one thing we could ask Jeremy. Do you fancy sending it to Ted for him to cool down his sweaty bum crack, and then he'll send it back to you afterwards?
Only when no, actually his one won't fit around my neck, as I say, so that's no good. But I was going to say only when the summer's gone, and then I won't need it.
Well, thanks for Jeremy. It's a good looking product. Well done. All right, and we're going to go into the news because there was one thing that was announced before the last show, but I completely forgot to put it in, despite the 3 notes that I'd left for myself. One of which was on the piece of paper before the one that I've made my notes on, because I'm an idiot. Yep, well, I've said that many times. It's the Commodore Callback. Oh, wait, hang on a second. We haven't done the headlines. The Commodore Callback 8020, which is a new flip phone designed to reduce social media addiction. Commodore is launching this flip phone, and it blocks social media and browsers to help users escape the constant temptation of smartphones. It's got a 3.25-inch internal display with touch functionality, disabled by default for a keyboard-first experience. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and it's got a MediaTek Helio G81 processor. It's got a 48 megapixel Sony rear camera for photos, and it also scans QR codes, which they make a point of. It's got the T9 keyboard that we all loved back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Plus it's got a removable battery, but I suppose that's an EU regulation now. It runs a Linux-based operating system called Sailfish, which I'm sure Steve Litchfield will be very happy about. And it's got the Commodore app marketplace, which sounds very Commodore to me. Pre-orders are going to begin in 2 days' time, on June 30th, where its start price is $499, which is quite expensive for what you're getting here. However, it does have some fairly decent specs inside it, so there's a $50 discount for the wait list, but whenever I clicked on it earlier today, it said it was $100. So there's some allowed apps, so you can have messaging like WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, WeChat. It's got ride sharing like Uber and Lyft. It's got Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. No mention of Google or YouTube or anything like that. It's got there's no side loading of social media apps, so that's going to be like Android anyway. But it has an audiophile grade DAC with HD support and lossless file support, so you can shove your FLACs on there. It has an HQIEM earphones included in the box. I'm just thinking, does it have it might actually have a 3.5mm headphone jack. I don't know. Screen limits. It's got grayscale mode, and other digital minimization features. Yeah, what do you think of this?
Okay, it has got a 3.5 millimeter. I put a link in the show notes to an article that shows that the price dropped from $499 to $399, but that is dollars. And also, you want to talk to me about Sailfish OS, not Steve, because I'm the one.
Okay.
I'm the one that's got the Yola phone, and occasionally dabble with Sailfish OS. But there are some questions I had about the Como store, about sandboxing, about sideloading APK files and all the rest of it. Now with Sailfish, what they do is they put a layer of it's like sandboxing, a layer between the OS and the thing you can't get to is the Play services. So you can get to whatever Google apps you want to use, except the one you don't get the Play services stuff going on, and the you have to you miss out on things like some of the notification stuff going on, but essentially you can run pretty much any Android app you want to, even though it's not an Android, and that's the same thing as Sailfish OS on the Yola phone. You can still do it. It's one of the defining features of Sailfish OS. They've developed this layer between the two, and you can make it happen if you want to, or not, and just stay private and not away from it all. But this whole thing about Google locking down sideloading doesn't apply to Sailfish OS because they built this layer between the two. So this phone are using the Como store to do that. Whereas Yola use their own store to do it with. But with the Como store, you can go and get whatever you want pretty much. But the big issue here is the price, really. It's a flip phone, and it's got a T9 keyboard, as you said. It's basically going back 20 years in time. And it's a huge gamble, even $399, let alone $499. That people are going to actually buy this. This is a kind of Gen Z thing, and cutting down on stuff and being all retro and what have you. I guess they're hoping that a lot of Commodore fanatics from the eras gone by will be interested in the name of it and think about it. But do you think it'll sell?
I don't think it'll sell. No, I think it is too expensive, as you say. Obviously it's got a launch price, and I'm hoping that it'll gradually come down. But this isn't the first time Commodore's tried to get into the mobile phone market. And it's not Commodore that you know and love from the 1980s. Commodore's been divided up and shuffled out to various different folks over the years, and I think there's even quarrels inside of the people who own certain elements of Commodore as to what they can and can't release, whereas Amiga brand is somewhere else, and then Commodore is somewhere else, and it's all quite complicated. But I do like this, and I know there's a lot of people who are quite tired of smartphones, and what with the controversy surrounding Google locking down Android. It's the perfect opportunity for an operating system to slip in and steal customers away, where the smaller amount of users of Android, like myself, want to be able to use F-Droid and pet projects and things like that you can use now, for them to lock it down and create a walled garden and stop the installation of apps outside of the Play Store is going to be something that other companies can now take advantage of. And you've got Graphene OS talking about how they're going to spread out to Motorola first, and and hopefully with that we'll start to see a version of it coming out for whatever phone you happen to have. Sailfish could do the same thing, and they do seem to. I know Graphene OS tends to operate with that layer in between, and you can compartmentalize various different applications so that they don't infringe on other things. So if on Graphene OS you can install it, and then you can bring the Google Play Store into it, but you can have it in a separate area so that it doesn't affect everything else. And that looks like it's going to have to be the more the easier way for people to be able to access applications that aren't going to be pushed through the Play Store, because Google want to control that and have registration fees and all that kind of crap. For security, and that is a good argument for it, but it's entirely down to Google have looked at Apple and seen that they have the most lucrative walled garden, and that is the best way to operate a mobile phone when it comes to commercialization. So they want to do the same thing, and that's what they'll do. So we'll have to look elsewhere, and this could be the first step toward that. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are saying that they do want to get rid of Facebook and all that kind of crap off their phone, and this could be a logical step for them. It's going to be hard for them to embrace the T9 keyboard. My mum has a Doro with a T9 keyboard, and muscle memory does work eventually, but it takes a wee while for you to get back into it. For the newer generation that's emerging, it's going to be a lot harder for them to adopt this, going from QWERTY keyboards to having to use T9 to text, send a message to people. But it's doable, and they will adapt to it. And I remember back in the early 2000s seeing people just bashing out massive text messages really quickly. Although text speak and all that, if you remember, that was a thing where you basically just took all the vowels out of a word, and people would understand what you're talking about via text message. So yeah, I want this to work. I do see that there is a market for it, but it might not be a large enough market to make it in any way a success. You're not going to get one, are you?
No, I've got a couple of T9 phones here, and I occasionally pick them up and kind of think about it and play with them. And it's a bit like these, this move back towards QWERTY phones. The days of keyboards and we on-screen keyboards are just so good now, and we just got so used to them. I can't see anyone with their head screwed on thinking about any other solution, frankly. But I agree with you with the whole Sailfish OS thing, and as I've said just now, that Yola have been doing this for years and years, and it's working out really well for them in many ways. And since they did this kind of Android layer thing, even more so. And so this is not new, and I was quite surprised that they had used the OS on the Commodore Callback. I think it was a smart move, but yeah, I think it's going to appeal mostly to older people like my age and older who remember very warmly the whole T9 thing. But also, the new Gen Z people who are trying to break free of what we've all got used to, I suppose. Don't know, but they have overpriced it. It needs to be £200 max, I reckon.
I think that's what it'll end up sort of settling around, and people are going to buy it maybe on contract, and I guess that's what they're hoping for, is contract exclusivity, maybe with O2 or something like that, like they had done with the iPhone and with the Palm Pre back in the day. But there's one other side of this. This makes phones interesting again.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like the QWERTY
this is a
phone.
feature phone. Yeah. And that's one thing we've been missing for the last, 15 years, as they've just been bland candy bars, with the odd phone like this arriving, like the BlackBerry Passport or something that's got people excited. You do get the odd little phone here and there, but the large volume of phones are still going to be the big candy bar phones. I'd love for this to start that whole new wave of feature phones coming back. Modularity, where you want to have a feature phone like this with a really good camera. If it turns out that 48 megapixel rear camera from Sony is a banger, that would be great. You could just take this out and take this on holiday with you. That would be fantastic. And it's got a wee bit of smart stuff in it, so you can get the images show Google or some sort of mapping system there that you can use, and you can get on WhatsApp and Signal. That's brilliant. That's what you want. You're denying yourself all that if you go onto YouTube or go onto eBay and try and find an old T9 keyboard, or you have to go and buy a Motorola Razr or a Samsung flip phone, which don't really do what this is trying to do. I'm excited for this. I don't think this is it, but I want this to succeed. I want feature phones to come back.
Well, it's hardly a feature phone, I have to say. It's an all singing, all dancing, feature, ordinary phone really, with the layer on top for Android stuff on it as well. So this is not like a Doro phone, that really is a feature phone, or a Nokia banana phone. They're even though they were running KaiOS, KAIOS. They were really, really feature phones. The most you could hope for was to get WhatsApp on it, which they did in the end, in chaos. Anyway, I applaud your enthusiasm. I don't share it.
Okay, how about a featureless phone, where it's missing features that you might come to expect from a good old-fashioned smartphone like an iPhone or something, or an iPhone, where it's missing social network. That's a featureless phone.
Yeah, I suppose so. But you can always get them on a browser. So if the push comes,
has no browser.
But this particular phone, this Commodore Callback, you can put a browser on it. That's the point. If it's running if it's running Selfish OS, you can put Chrome on it in the Android layer. Yes, you can.
The blocked apps are social media platforms, web browsers, and work apps like Slack and Teams.
That's not true. That's not true. You can put them on because of the layer. I don't know where you're getting that information from, but it's the same as Selfish OS on Yola, and you can pretty much put whatever applications you want on it. They say on their website 99% of Android apps will run, and the 1% left over is for, as I said earlier, things like the things that need to interact with the Play services to work, like some notifications and whatever. But essentially any Android app you've got will work on it.
Okay, runs 99% of Android apps without running Android.
It's in the layer.
So block social media and browsers, no more doom scrolling, no data selling, less pop-ups, go off the grid.
You can use it like that if you want to. You don't have to use the Commodore layer to install Android apps. You can, if you want to use it like a Graphene OS phone, you can. But most people will obviously want to do what you just suggested, is and get some of those basic things on that we've got used to using. But anyway, we'll see.
Okay. The small print. All social media apps and browsers are blocked at a system level, while other levels, like this is coming from Commodore.net, while other apps like work and email are left out of our App Store, patent pending. So it's blocked at a system level.
Yeah, but you can just install Gmail. Okay. So just install whatever Android apps you want to do all that stuff. They might block it at their level in terms of their OS, their base OS, without the installing anything from Android on it. But if you've got 99% of anything that is Android, you can do what you like with it. You use it in a basic way, and yes, you'll have those things blocked by Commodore. But if you want to open it up, just like with the Yola phone with Selfish OS, you can open it up and put what you like on it.
Fair enough. Okay, and I see the 3.5mm headphone jack on the side. Very nice. Well, yeah, I quite like it, and I look forward to seeing what they do next. O2 exec, well, that's what we want. An O2 exec with a QWERTY keyboard, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Right, next up, before we get bogged down and end up coming to blows over this, Red Magic's Gaming Tablet 5 Pro is to offer a PC emulator. So this is a new tablet that's coming from Red Magic, and it's got a built-in PC emulator, which is the standout feature, and it's got native support, allowing users to run compatible Windows PC games directly on the tablet. What a time we live in. Red Magic is positioning the device as it bridges mobile and PC gaming. So it makes sense where people are buying the likes of Steam Decks and stuff like that and being able to play games on the go. Red Magic are looking to try to import that in. There's a couple of different applications that you can get from various different places, whether it be game native or there's another one as well that I did install, but I got rid of once I bought my Lenovo Legion, but I can't remember what it's called. There's two big platforms. Wait, hang on, it's coming back. It's almost in there. It's in my head now. I know the company that does it because they made game controllers that you plug your phone into. I have one down in the house, and I can't remember what it's called. So it's a high-end tablet with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 chipset, and it's paired with the Red Magic's Red Core R4 gaming coprocessor, which is it's promising flagship from their promising gaming performance and enhanced graphics processing. It's got a premium OLED display that features a 9.06 inch 2.4K OLED display, which has ultra smooth 185 Hz refresh rate. It's got a large battery at 8500 milliamp hours and 80 watt fast charging. Very nice. Ted, obviously you're going to have one of these, aren't you? And get your cyberpunk going and Skyrim.
I don't want one for the gaming. I'll leave that to you. But I really like the size of it. There's a photograph on this web page at GSM Arena of somebody holding one in two hands, and it's just lovely size. It has the feel of you know what I'm going to say, the Nexus 7, except that it hasn't got whacking great big bezels like the Nexus 7 had, so it just looks much more dinky. It looks smaller and neater than even a 10-inch tablet. I know it's only 9 inches, so there's not much difference really, but it just looks smaller, and I think that's a real interesting place, and I would be very tempted. Well, it depends on how much it costs, of course, but and even if I suppose it will get out of China eventually. As to whether I would buy one or not, Red Magic stuff does tend to make its way out eventually, so we could be looking at an interesting little dinky coffee table, sofa, arm little tablet. And I always find that 10 and 11-inch tablets are too big for that role, but this will be just perfect. I want one.
Well, you might get a chance because it's been launching in China on the 30th of June, but it's suggesting that internationally it's going to be called the Red Magic Astra 2, that we should hopefully see fairly soon.
Mm-hmm.
No dates, other than China in 2 days. That's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Groovy. Right, next up is the Google Home speaker that they popped out. I wasn't quite aware that they were going to be doing another speaker because I had been looking. It's been a while since their last one, but before I knew it, I was getting all kinds of emails from Google going, "Oh, look what we've got now." So this is the new Google Home speaker, and it's $50 more expensive than the Nest Mini that came out prior. It's both feature, fabric accents, and it's got a small profile, but it's several inches taller, and it lacks the cable clips. which is a weird thing. The audio performance of the home speaker has better bass response, but it suffers from a moody low-end artifact and cardboard tubing effect, whilst the Nest Mini has better high-end clarity, according to this review over on 9 to 5 Google. Gemini is integrated into the home speaker and it offers a faster local processing with its onboard ML chips, eliminating lag and experiencing that you would experience with the Nest Mini and Google Mini that came before that. And it has some smart features as well built in, but it lacks the Matter integration that other speakers have, which is a notable exclusion, which is an IKEA has put into all of their stuff. I think it's still in Amazon, but I don't think Matter is quite becoming what they'd hoped it would be. What do you think of this, Ted? Are you going to pick one up?
No, I don't like it. I prefer the little one. The little Nest Mini, and this is a good time to buy one of those because they're going to be pushing them out at good prices, I reckon. And one of the reasons I liked the Nest Mini was because you could stick it on the wall. And if you look at Amazon, there are all sorts of cradles and plugging into wall socket devices, and there's just lots and lots of ways that you can make it because it was flat. And this new one is just like going to be you've got to have it sitting on a table or on a workbench or a desk or a kitchen top or something. You've lost all that wall stuff. And also, it was a perfect opportunity to get rid of the sealed cable. Just why have they not made it a USB-C plug in whatever you want to charge it? Because that's a real missed opportunity. The same was true of the Nest Mini, but the same is also true of the Pixel tablet I've got here with the stand with the speaker dock thingy. And it's like, why are Google continuing to just ignore this whole USB-C thing? You'd think that Google, of all people, would be supporting it and producing stuff that are going to make the most of it. But anyway, there it is. And with this report from 9 to 5 Google saying that the speakers got dubious output, I think the Nest Mini is still the way to go. Even though it's not as smart, it doesn't do onboard processing of data like the new one does so much. It goes off to the cloud to do most things. I'd still prefer it. Sorry, although I do like the orange colour.
Oh, that's the berry colour. There's 4 different colours available. There's
right.
Berry and porcelain, hazel, and jade. I think hazel's basically just grey, porcelain's white, and then jade is green.
Oh, I like green.
Berry is.
Yeah.
No, I just see Google becoming more and more of a walled garden, and it's not quite as attractive as it used to be. And I've seen the in-shitification of the current range of speakers as they just get progressively worse and worse, and they just cannot do what they do. I had an alarm set via Gemini this morning. I thought, right, okay, I'm going to say set an alarm for 11 a.m. So I remember about an eBay auction that I was going for. And I haven't had a single reminder about that at all. Whenever I first did that, my phone said, unfortunately, you'll have to set this through Google Assistant. I'm like, oh, right, okay. So I went into Google Assistant, and it directed me to Gemini. I was like, so I didn't get a notification of my 11 o'clock alarm that I wanted to set. And I guarantee you that it's probably going off on the Google Home that's down in the living room whenever I asked it to do that, but it's not coming through on the Google Home Max, so it's behind me. So it was useful and it was good at one stage, but I just think it's utter garbage now, and it fails more time than it does. I used to use Broadcast an awful lot on these speakers, and my son's Lenovo clock thing, those. Remember?
Oh yeah.
We bought a couple of those as well, and they don't do the broadcasting anymore. Don't know why. They just don't. So it comes through on the Nest Mini. It doesn't come through on the Google Mini that's in my wife's office. It comes through in the Nest Mini that's in one of the other bedrooms. So, they're just sort of removing features from stuff, and you're just supposed to get rid of them and replace them with this. No, thanks. I'm done. It was a nice thing that happened, but I'll just go to getting up out of my chair, walking to the bottom of the stairs, and calling up the stairs, like has happened for generations whenever kids are being called for their dinner.
Yeah, it's funny how you don't apply the same principle with light switches.
No, but that's because of furniture. I can have my two uplighters behind the sofa.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't have to crawl on my knees down the back to hit the button that's a foot away from the base of the lamp. I can plug it into a smart plug and then click a button or say turn off those lights. That's what I use it for. But there's going to be a point where those aren't supported anymore and I'll have to replace them with something else. But thankfully Home Assistant keeps everything going that way because it's better. And up until Google decide, no, we're getting rid of that. We're not going to let you access that anymore. Right, moving on before I start getting really annoyed. O2! O2 are, what are they doing? Oh yes, Virgin Media O2, VMO2 as they're being affectionately termed, has announced that it's planning to shut down the legacy 2G mobile network starting in 2029 as part of an industry-wide effort to improve network security and inefficiency. And this affects more devices than we care to mention. Most smartphone users won't be affected because most modern devices rely on 4G and 5G networks with a certain amount of 3G in there as well. The critical infrastructure devices, Internet of Things devices, smart meters, payment terminals and alarm systems may need to be upgraded. And environmental benefits of 2G networks account for 10% of Virtual Media or Virgin Media O2's. That's what it stands for, doesn't it? I've just written down VMO2. I can't remember what it stands for now. Energy consumption, despite carrying only 0.5% of the traffic. Ted, do you have any 2G devices knocking about? Do you have one of these smart meters that rely on them?
No. Not at all. This is of no significance to me. But it is, to be fair, if you were in business and you had some sort of bit, it feels a bit like the whole Windows 2000 thing, which, it turned out years and years and years later that pretty much all cache point machines ran with, and there's Windows trying to shut down Windows 2000. And actually, the business community is saying, hang on a minute, all of our infrastructure works on Windows 2000. Don't shut it down. So this sounds a bit like that, really. There will be things out there, but actually, day to day, for most of us, it will be not significant.
Yeah. Well, if you think that you're not going to be affected because you're on EE, they're also going to be turning off their 2G networks in 2029 as well. Vodafone 3 conglomerate are going to do it in 2030, which is, not much better. But you know what? I can think of one place I know that I drive through that my phone drops down to E, which is Edge, which is 2G. And yeah, that's not going to be there anymore, which is sad. That means I'm just going to have no signal in that area at all.
Yeah, it's all about coverage, isn't it? For that kind of extreme example, or someone in the middle of Dartmoor or somewhere that has broken a leg, whereas they'd be able to get a call out or at least a text message out by 2G, which they now can't do. But for some time now, we've been encouraged by the OEMs to turn 2G off on our phones because of security issues. It's not a secure network anymore, so there's that as well. Most people, well, not most people, but some people with that warning would have turned 2G off anyway.
All right. Okay. No, I never have. I haven't had that warning.
Hmm.
But then, I'm not in the tech sphere, so I wouldn't know. Right. Samsung One UI 9 Beta has rolled out, and Samsung is I actually got it on my phone yesterday, is rolling out the One UI Beta to multiple flagship mid-range Galaxy devices ahead of its July 2022 Unpacked event in London. The devices that are getting it are the Galaxy S26 Beta 3, the S25, S24, S23, S24 FE, S24 FE, says that right? A56, A35, A37, and the A37. Right, okay, I've written them twice. Stable launch is going to be for the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, the Z Fold 8, and the Z Flip 8. And there's a bunch of fixes. So there's stability fixes for the camera preview cropping, lock screen widgets, S Pen swiping, and video streaming reboots. Okay, I can't say I've noticed any of those, but it'll also have a bunch of new AI features, which people, I'm sure, will get really excited about. There's a quick panel for AI generated notification summaries, which is not yet in beta. Anything that you would care to add to that? Is there anything that worth getting excited about?
I put a link into the Android Police summary as well, because they've drilled down further into the devices than the link you put into the recording notes. But my question to you is, and I'm quite surprised, are you saying that you put on your main phone a beta build?
No, I got an update yesterday to.
You sure it wasn't 8.5? Because
no, I got 8.5 a wee while ago.
So you got 9. What phone have you got?
I'm just checking to see what it is. I didn't actually check whenever it downloaded. I just linked the two together and went, oh, right, okay.
Oh, right.
About phone. No, software update. Oh, yeah, it's 8.5. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I didn't think anyone had 9 yet, really, because S26 range, you're going to get it first. I was keen to see the drilled down list, because on the one that you mentioned just now, my S24 Plus was missing. Now, I might, because I don't use the Galaxy as a main device, I might actually now go and wait for that to drop and play about with the One UI 9 beta, to be honest. Because it's quite easy to get back out of, apparently, if you don't want to use it anymore, unlike Pixels, who have a window of about 10 minutes if you want to do that.
Right, okay. Well, having a quick read over some of the stuff that's in there, it's fixed the camera lag in third-party apps like Snapchat and Instagram, because that's useful. Added quick start update for Good Lock app, with network speed indicators. It's improved weather format. Doesn't seem to be too much. That's really terribly exciting.
The evolution is plateaued.
Yeah.
It's little changes all the time, isn't it? Perhaps I won't bother putting it on mine.
No, I don't think you should. Just wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Sure. It's all doom and gloom anyway. We've got Netflix, because Netflix are now going to be implementing a policy requiring each user profile to be tied to a unique email address effective from June 15th, which has passed by 2 weeks, to improve account management and security. The policy fix requires every profile under the Netflix subscription to have a separate email address, and that's to prevent shared login credentials. Users who previously shared accounts, like the I think they encouraged people to do it for a while, didn't they? Now need to create individual accounts to continue using Netflix, and users are being asked to provide first and last name and when setting up a profile, which up until now has not been mandatory. So yeah, do you still subscribe to Netflix?
Yeah, I do. And my dad has a profile which he uses. He uses it much more than I do. Um, and I told him just yesterday, I said that there's changes afoot, and you won't any longer be able to. We won't be able to any longer sign you in under your profile without
Right.
them wanting your email address. And I said that eventually we'll have to deal with that, but it shouldn't make any difference. He watches it on the Roku, and the Roku is another story which we perhaps will cover next time. Next show when we come back, we'll talk about Roku. Anyway, so
Why it's depressing.
yeah, and when he is set up with his email address, then it will just work the same for him. So I'm not really that concerned about it. But yeah, it's another measure to try and stop people sharing, isn't it?
Well, you there is a way you can circumvent this. The email requirement does not apply to profiles designated for children, and as you are his child, that means it shouldn't affect you.
Excellent. But then he won't be able to watch anything that's got sweary words in it.
True, but that can be a good thing. You don't
Yes.
you don't want effing and blinding. So yeah, it's just Netflix ending another loophole that people have been able to exploit over the last number of years to try to up subscriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. The next thing I wanted to really sort of talk about was a wee thing that popped up just yesterday that seems to have got quite a few people's backs up, and it's a sign of things to come. And that is that the PlayStation Store has deleted 551 movies from various users' accounts as they bring to an end their streaming agreement with Studio Canal. So that all of Studio Canal's movies are being removed from Sony's online store, and if you bought them, as in purchased them, as in purchased a license to watch them, then you will no longer be able to watch them. So it was just a kind of a long scale rent, if you like. So yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance, I have to say. PlayStation have contacted users who have purchased Studio Canal distributed films like Terminator 2 or Total Recall or Cliffhanger or some of the big examples. And all 551 affected titles are being deleted off the users' video libraries from September 1st. So you have to get them all watched before then, if you need to. There are going to be no refunds or compensation because, well, it's in the small print. You purchased a license while Sony had access to the license.
That's that's the different bit. When Google did this, I just want to jump in and say they refunded everyone. Do you remember when they switched away from one system to another? And I got refunded for some of those things I'd bought. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It obviously must have been some sort of stipulation in their small print or something that they've maybe left out. But now that small print is getting more and more savvy to the way things are set up. I remember W.H. Smith, they had a streaming thing way back when I first bought my first Samsung tablet, and I bought a bunch of movies. And whenever they shut things down, they had to try and work out what to do. And they would give you the opportunity to be able to download the movie and keep it yourself. Or they moved some of them over onto another streaming platform for as long as it lasted. And eventually I think people just gave up on it. Mm-hmm. Eventually they moved into Google. And I've had problems with the Mission Impossible series ever since, because I bought them from W.H. Smith, and then they moved to Movies Unlimited or something, which we didn't have, and then they moved to, Ultraviolet it was actually, and then moved to Google, and I didn't have access to them for a while, and then all of a sudden I had access again, and I don't know whether or not I have access to them now, but it was just one of those things that sometimes I had them, sometimes I didn't, because I stupidly bought a license for it. But it's another one of those things that people are getting more and more annoyed about, where they've bought something, thought they had it, and then turns out they don't. They only have access to a license. And whilst it's being tackled from a gaming point of view, where if you buy something through Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation, you're buying a license, and that's not entirely clear. So the EU are actually fighting this, or not fighting, sorry. Stop Killing Games is fighting this through the EU courts to try to get some kind of agreement that whenever you buy something, they can't just remove it willy-nilly. And I've got a whole other thing about how, people are saying, yes, physical media is the way to go, but it's not. Physical media is a good argument, but I think people misunderstand exactly what is meant by physical media. And, where you might buy something physically, you still don't own it. You're still a license. You're only buying a license to watch it. And if the license does expire, technically they could come to your house and remove the DVD off you. Now you own the rest of it, the packaging and all the other bits and pieces that might be on the disc that are produced by, say, Arrow or whatever. They only have a license to be able to produce it for a certain amount of time. But after a while, they don't have that license anymore, and the movie is no longer theirs to distribute, so they stop distributing it. And people don't quite realise that that's the end of that. And if your disc was to die, you might not be able to get another copy of it, because they don't own the license, and whoever owns the original license. I'm going down a rabbit hole, sorry. But yes, it's a very grey area where they could take discs off people once the license does expire. But the notification is very unapologetic. It's to the point, and ironically, if you look at the bottom of it, it says PlayStation Play has no limits, whilst they are emailing people to notify them of a limitation with their store. It's still PlayStation as opposed to a movie watching thing, so I always took it from the point of view that movies on the PlayStation are actually, a little bit of an added bonus, and it's not something you should rely on. But just imagine if this happened to Apple or Google, and the two of them were to say, right, we're getting out of this whole industry, and people who had bought things through Apple, imagine if music was to go away from Apple. Apple was to say, we're not going to do music anymore, and people were to lose their music libraries of stuff that they bought through iTunes or whatever. There would be rioting in the streets, I think. Oh, it would be terrible. What do you own digitally?
Nothing really. But what I was going to say was it's not really surprising that people turn to things like, what's that thing called, torrent sharing
Piracy,
or whatever it is.
Basically,
yeah. And people just getting stuff illegally and sharing stuff, and it's really not surprising that people do that. When you're faced with this, you're led to believe that you're buying something and it's yours and you own it, and then they turn around and shit on you from a great height. So it's just not fair. They should say from the beginning, because they often have two tiers of offer of the media. It's like you can own it or you can rent it, and the rental thing is fair enough. That's very clear. But the owning thing is not owning, as we've come to discover. So music is the same, except that a lot of music's out of copyright, isn't it? Which means that you can listen to Beethoven wherever you like. But anyway, it doesn't affect me, thankfully. But it did with Google back in the day, as I said. But they did the decent thing, and I got refunded for about, I don't know, half a dozen things I bought or something. I can't remember the details now. But you got some money back as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. But I still find that Google was just one of those bad ideas, because all my movies have now been dumped into YouTube. And you can watch them through YouTube. Yeah. But it's almost like they decide, a library function is going to be so pathetic. they don't make it easy for you to be able to find what you're looking for. Say, for example, you want to browse through your library and go, what do I want to watch tonight? You have to know what you want to watch. You can't, because I have maybe about 100 movies in my YouTube movies and a bunch of TV shows. And I can't download the TV shows to my tablet anymore. It just won't let me. It sits there. Now, maybe it's because of VPNs or something like that. I can't quite work it out, but I think I've turned all my VPNs off and tried to download an episode of 30 Rock, and it just won't let me, which is something that I bought through the UK, and it should be able to download, but it's not. But it doesn't even offer any sort of enhanced movie watching experiences like resume where you were. You have to go back in and scroll through the library looking for, season 7, episode 13. Okay, I want to do 14, 15, 16. And then you'll have to go back in and try and find where you were up to. It doesn't even mark sort of what you've watched and what you haven't watched. It's just a poor library experience, where something like Plex or Jellyfin is much more accomplished and designed for people to have a better user experience. Yeah. And it felt like it's all a cash grab by these big companies for, we don't want you to watch what you've already bought. We want you to buy more stuff. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to make it difficult for you to find the things that you've got. I will say that PlayStation is the same thing as well, where I maybe have bought games through their online library, and I decide, well, what do I own? But it's very difficult to actually just get a list of what you own, because they dump in everything that you've ever downloaded, where if you've got a demo, or if there's something that you've maybe expressed an interest, or liked or something like that, they're all in the same list. It's like, a bit like Google Play. If you go in and have a look at all the apps that you've bought in the past, it's got all the ones that you've downloaded. It's got all the free apps as well that you've maybe used. You can't just go, what do I own in Google? It just won't tell you, which is really, really maddening. Because I know that there was a game that I bought years ago called like Star Collision or something like that, and I thought, I'd love to play that again. I don't think it's there, but going down through my list, there's a million apps that I have downloaded, installed, free apps or whatever that I've maybe tried. And I have to hunt through all of those to try and find the ones that I've purchased. And that's not useful. And you'd think that they would make it a wee bit easier. But it's not. It's not designed that way. It's designed to trip people up. Whereas my movie library is sitting behind me on a wall, and I know exactly what I've got. And I've got a list of them, so if I'm out in a shop and go, do I have Body Heat in 4K? And, or, something even cruder, I can go on and check, and then go, right, I'll pick that up, so that I don't double purchase. But if I do that with Sony or Google or whatever, I'll be there for hours trying to find out whether or not I've bought this before. Yeah. Friggin' annoying. Yeah.
I usually end up searching my Gmail, which is very efficient at that. So, because whenever I buy anything, you get an email, or I do, and so I just search in Gmail and say, right, have I bought this ever before? And it tells me.
But you got to keep those emails.
Yeah, what I do, I never chuck emails away. I've got tens of thousands of emails, and they go back to 2004. And so I know you people don't want to live that way, but I do, because I see the benefit of the huge search facilities.
Because you're a hoarder.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Good old-fashioned hoarder. Right. Well, you've got some annoyances about Microsoft, don't you?
Oh, just a quick update. We've done this 100 times before, but I'm trying to find some way around Microsoft Publisher going away in October, and I've got 3 months to go. Well, 3.5 months. So I just wanted to mention that you suggested, or someone suggested, using PowerPoint, and I have tried that this week, and it looks as though it might be a decent solution after all, just like you said or your friend said. And I'm working my way through it. So that's the latest project. That was my update, because after October I won't be able to use it. But the interesting thing I found while using PowerPoint to do this is that Google Slides does it in some ways better. In some ways, not as good. But me personally, I'm in bed with Google, as you know, and to keep away from Microsoft, in this case PowerPoint, Google Slides could be a sideways solution. Anyway, I'm setting it up first on PowerPoint, and then when I've done that, I'm going to import it into Google Slides, which you can do, and it looks like it works really well. And then I'm going to start to see if I can use Slides to do it. The advantage of doing that is that I can do it wherever I am. I can do it on mobile devices. I can do it on a Chromebook. I can do it, wherever I happen to be. I'll be able to do my magazine editing. Anyway, that was my quick update.
Oh, right, okay. Well, at least you're getting somewhere. It does sound a wee bit more hodgy-podgy, rather than just having a nice dedicated publishing tool.
Hear, hear.
But, that's what you are, a dedicated publishing tool. No, sorry.
Well, I've got
Right.
Affinity. The last time I reported it on the show, I was trying to use Affinity Publisher, but it's just so complicated. It assumes a knowledge that, like Adobe tools do. They look as though they're appealing to people who have been trained and know what they're doing, and professionals, and you get all these kind of layers I just look at this Affinity Publisher. I think, for goodness sake, Microsoft Publisher was so simple. What you see is what you get, and it just works. Why are you complicating it all? Anyway, so that's where I moved on from.
Yeah. And also it's not... No, I think it is actually compatible with Linux. I saw people talking about Affinity, that they were getting it to run on Linux now.
Right. Okay.
Okay, the bought report. I bought a thing. I did buy a thing. I bought a thing for my my Lenovo Legion that I'm not shutting up about this season. And there's a lot of people who are saying the Lenovo Legion dock is terrific, and I almost purchased it, but I decided not to. But I wanted a dock so I could hook this up to my computer screen and have it sitting on my desk in front of me, because it's neat and tidy. Now, instead of the Lenovo dock, which is designed for the Legion series, I bought the Ugreen Steam Deck dock, which is a 6-in-1. There is a 9-in-1 version, but I got the 6-in-1 because it's on a sale. Actually, is the 9-in-1 on sale? No, it's not. Oh, it is, yeah. But the 6-in-1 is on sale. It's reduced from £38 down to £29.98. So I snapped that up. And it's got 4K at 120 hertz. It's HDMI. It's got 100-watt power delivery. It's got 1 gigabit Ethernet, USB-A, USB-C ports, and it's a nice looking device. It's got a wee slidey up bit that allows you to set your Lenovo into it, and it's adjustable as well. And that's where I thought this is actually kind of a useful jobby for my desk, because whenever I'm not using my Steam Deck in it, I can actually put my tablet in it and adjust it so that it fits around my tablet, and I can just plug in one USB Type-C to the side of my tablet, and that charges my tablet and it hooks it up to my main screen. So it works very much in the same way as what it does with the Lenovo Legion, whereas the Lenovo Legion dock didn't look like it would fit my tablet particularly well, but this one does, because it's quite adjustable, and I'm really chuffed with it. It's a really nice build quality. It's kind of plastic with the sort of metallic effect to it, and whilst I did notice that there was the 9 port version, I just thought that might be a wee bit of overkill. The 6-port version does for most of the stuff that I want it to do, because I've got a wee Bluetooth keyboard that I hook up to it and a Bluetooth mouse, and they both work very well. So I can, hit the button on the side of my screen and just go across to my Steam OS device that's sitting there, and then whenever it's not there, I can plug in my tablet and hit the button and go across to my DeX device, and tinker away that way. I think it's a really decent little piece of hardware that most desktops could probably benefit from, especially since it's adjustable. It'll fit most things that are biggish.
Very nice.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I was trying to work out the differences between the 6 and the 9, and from what I can see visually, without digging down into the details, it looks like it's mostly more USB-A ports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that on the face of it looks like the difference, and it's slightly bigger by the looks of it as well, slightly wider. But yeah.
Yeah, I think on the sides there's 2 USB-A ports that are designed for keyboard and mouse to be plugged in, which is not something I needed because I bought one of those Proto Arc keyboards that I take with me, portable keyboards that have the trackpad on the side. So I just use that, and I have a wee Logitech mouse if ever I needed to do it. So I just didn't need those extra bits because
Very
Bluetooth
cool.
does it
Very
good.
nice. We like desktop solutions.
Yes. What did you buy?
Oh, just a quick one. The Moto Watch 2026 in black. I didn't buy it because I swapped it. One of our regular listeners, Jim Fowle, had the black one, and he wanted the silver one. Motorola PR gifted me the silver one, and I really didn't like it. I don't like silver stuff. I want black. So Jim and I swapped, and I've now got the black one, and he's got the silver one. So we're both happy. But I still don't think it's as nice as the Moto Watch Fit. The Moto Watch Fit just seems to sit on my wrist better. It's not so bulky. It's sleek and lovely. A bit like the Pebble Time 2. In fact, it's not a round watch in the traditional way. But you can't deny that this is really good. The Moto Watch 2026. It's really, really nice, particularly in black. And it's functionally it's a bit better than the Moto Watch Fit as well. But I'm dancing the tune. But it's lovely in black.
More importantly, how's Jim getting on with the silver one? Is he happy with it?
Oh, he hasn't mentioned it actually. He told me it had arrived, I think. No, he didn't. I think it's en route. Yeah, that's right. It was supposed to arrive Monday, tomorrow, but there was a chance that Royal Mail Special Delivery might have delivered it yesterday. I didn't check to see if it had, and I've not heard from him, but I'm sure he will be happy.
He better be. He's not swapping it back, apparently. Right. Okay, so it looks like a nice watch. It's got one big buttony dial-y thing up in the corner that looks like a wart.
Yeah, it's got a crown thingy, and then there's a second button on below it, which you can assign the buttons to whatever you want to really, I think it's brighter. I think the OLED panel is brighter than the Watch Fit, but I don't know. I'm not convinced by the whole big round thing. I think that the square slim thing is just a bit better, but the battery's really good. I've been testing the battery, and that's better than the Watch Fit. But there you go. Are you still wearing a smartwatch?
I am, yeah. I've got my Samsung Galaxy Ultimate one, the one, not the new one, but the one from, was it 2 years ago?
Oh, the Ultra, right, yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I changed the strap, and I've got a nice strap now that just sort of, it clicks into place and locks into place. It was a really good strap. I like it. And it's just made it sort of much more pleasant to wear rather than having to take it off and on. It's very easy to do, and I've got into a nice routine of I put the charger beside my armchair when I'm watching TV, so I can take it off and charge it while I'm watching TV, and then put it on, and it means I don't need to worry about taking it off whenever I go to bed, so I can do sleep tracking if I want. And I think I top it up as I need to top it up, at least once a day or once every other day. It's cool.
Very nice. Yeah, I quite like the Galaxy Watch Ultra. I've still got mine. Doesn't get much use, to be honest, but I do like. In fact, I posted a piece during the week about the killer feature of the watch being the speaker, because when I am using it, I love the fact that the speaker on it's really good. Well, compared to any other watch on the market, and you can have a music player on your wrist. But anyway, I'll dig out the link and put that in the show notes, and people can, if they haven't read it, they can see what I was saying.
Superfire. All right, the bargain basement where there's cheap stuff aplenty. And we're doing this on the other side of Amazon Prime Day. So, I had to make sure that these deals are still there because a lot of them weren't.
Yeah.
Right, first up, Ted, you're going for it.
Yeah, this is a Hoyixi. Hoyixi. This is something that I it looks like it's a sunshade thingy that you put where you want to. They're using it in this thing to put a laptop inside. So if you're in the sun, you can see. You'll be able to see your screen more efficiently, and when you finish using it, you can just kind of zip it up into this kind of disc that you carry. But my thought on this was that it would be quite useful as a product for photography, a product for product photography. Stick stuff inside it and take pictures of it, and you've got a controlled environment, especially if you want to get starting clever with flash and what have you. The only trouble is that inside it's black, and traditionally, as we know, tents for photography, macro and stuff, tend to be white to let the light in. But apart from that, it'll be work. Anyway, it's not designed for that. And you can see that it's got pockets on the side to put your phone in, and I can't imagine. I suppose if you were stuck on a service station and it was really, really bright sun and you couldn't see your laptop, then it would enable you to get on. Anyway, reduced from 30 quid to 23. That was my first one.
Yeah, it's for those folks who are working from home and they want to sit outside and still have their laptop. They'll be able to see the screen. And it's exactly one of what, as you say, it's a product photography tent with a black interior rather than a white interior. But it's a wee bit water resistant and it's sun resistant too, and it's got holes for power and storage pockets and things like that. And there's a non-slip design, so you can put your laptop in it; it's not going to slide out. It's taking it to the extreme if you want to head down to the beer garden when you're supposed to be at work. But I suppose. Yeah, 23 quid is a. I'll actually mention some of the folks I'm working with and see if they're interested in them.
Okay.
There's a square version as well. It's 30 quid.
Yeah.
Funny. All right, I've gone with the Logitech Pebble mouse. This is a wee portable mouse, the M350S Slim Bluetooth wireless mouse. And it's reduced in price down from £25 to £13.
Good grief.
There is a black version, which is $15.99, and then there's a pink version, which is $10. I'm sure you'd love.
Oh yeah, the pink one's nice.
And a white version too, which is $12.99. But it's a good looking little dinky mouse that does all your Bluetoothiness. It's very slim and flat, and you can take it with you on holiday if you need to take a wee bit of a setup with you. I quite like the look of this. I didn't actually look to see whether it was rechargeable or used AA batteries.
No, it uses batteries. We've got one of these. I've got one of these. And you stick a battery in it, and it's really, really dinky and really nice, and it's tiny. For people that like big mouses, mices, they won't like it, but it's really dinky and tiny. But it works fine. Really good mouse.
Cool, yeah, that's a Logitech, so most people should like it. I take it works with Logi options or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it does. You can kind of customize it a bit. I thoroughly approve. I love this kind of pop stuff, the pebble and pop stuff from Logitech. It's really cute, very Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one for you. It's a Linux mouse mat. I thought of you. I wasn't really serious really about this. 14 quid down to 11, and it's a mouse mat that you stick on under your keyboard. And on this particular version, it's got loads of shortcuts and stuff for programming in Linux. And I thought of you. But there's another one which is a Windows one for other people. There's a Star Trek one. And there's a whole bunch of them, and it all looks like good fun. Fancy one of those?
I actually suggested this to my wife one day. I noticed it was in a YouTube video. There was someone who had one of these, and I paused it and went over and went, "Oh wow, that's got all the Linux commands." Because I don't want to buy one for myself, but I mentioned it to my wife, and she went, "What's it for?" And I said, "It's one of those big desk mats that you put out, and it's got all your Linux commands on it. That would be great." I think I mentioned it before Christmas and didn't get one from her.
Oh dear.
Because, she suggests things for me to buy for her all the time, but doesn't pay hide nor hair. Oh, it's got the Millennium Falcon cross-sections of Star Wars ships as well. Oh, yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. Very nice. Next up is the Belkin thing. Oh, this is for holidays. The Belkin 108 watt GAN USB charging station for multiple devices. It's down from 80 quid to 26 in white. There are 2 USB-A's and 2 USB-C's on this, and it's the perfect thing for taking away on holiday if you need to have your laptop or tablet or phone or even just smartwatch and AirPod wireless headphones or something like that with you on your journey. You can plug them in and just charge. Because it's 108 watts, it just pulls electricity and shoves it into whatever you're charging. Really nice. And at 26 quid, that's a lot to like. Cool.
Very nice, yeah. Very nice.
What's
Belkin stuff is usually very good. And very popular with Apple users. Right, the FIO DM13BT Bluetooth in aluminium is next. In black, although you can get it in red. The red one's really nice actually. Silver and white. And this is on sale at Richer Sounds for 117 quid, reduced from 139. It is 139 on Amazon as well. So this is, I think this is a legitimate bargain for anyone who wants a portable CD player with 3.5mm for old-fashioned headphones. And it does look really nicely made, as FIO stuff tends to be, and that could fill the gap for someone. But round the back, there's loads of ports and plugs. There's a USB-C power. There's also a USB-C out for recording, so you can rip your CDs from it. There's also an optical coaxial socket thingy, which means you can get high quality audio out if you want to. And yeah, looks really nice. So 117 quid for those that have got at least one CD. I'm ruled out.
Yes, you do need a CD, and they should really put that on it. But the white one, ooh, that's nice because it's got a see-through top on it. But it's £135.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as much a bargain, but I do like the idea of being able to see through it. That's sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry.
Have you got some
might have
CDs?
to buy one of them. Oh yeah, I've got loads.
Oh right.
I dug them all out of the shed as well, and I'm gradually going through and ripping them onto my computer and putting them on my Plex library for Plex Amp. But yeah, I still do like to sit and listen to them because I've got a wee Sony Mini system over there that I use from time to time.
Mm.
It's a bit clanky. This doesn't have a remote control though, but it would sit nicely on top of my amp.
Cool.
I like it. Oh, I very much like that. Yeah. All right. Another one for holidays because I do have a 4-pack of Samsung tags, but I noticed that for £45 on Amazon you can get the Xiaomi smart tags, which are compatible with both Apple Find and Google's Android Find hub tracker thing. and you can put this in your luggage and bags and suitcases and stuff like that. And they're waterproof, and they've got a battery life of over 1 year. And that 4-pack seems like quite a sensible investment. If you were to lose your luggage, you might be able to find them, and they can ping off an Apple device and a Samsung device or a Google device, and be able to report where they are to see where your luggage is gone if you were to lose it on holiday. That'd be kind of nice to have. Yeah,
Very
and
cool,
they're
very
quite
cool.
kind of stylish devices too.
Yeah, they look quite attractive, don't they? Xiaomi style. Very nice, yeah. Right, Pixel watches are next. Pixel Watch 4, either the 41mm or the 45mm ones, reduced from $249 to $349 and $299 from $399 respectively. 100 quid off or 50 quid off. No, 100 quid off on both of them, isn't it? Yeah. And if you don't have a Pixel Watch 3, like me, then the 4, if you're jumping from 1 or 2, then it's certainly worth it. And that's a good price.
It is, but I'm just looking at these pictures, and they're absolutely identical.
What do you mean?
That annoys me.
The pictures of...
The 41 and the 45. I know they are pretty much
right.
identical, but one slightly larger, but you can't really tell that from the picture.
Okay.
They've just used the same images. Admittedly, the 41mm looks like lower res than the 45, or is it the other way around? No, yeah, it's a lower res picture on the Amazon listing for the 41, but it's just all the same images, and they get to just do that, and then they change one character in the description to 45.
Yeah, bastards.
Yeah. It's a stupid thing. That's just me being a wanker. Again. Right, Ugreen NAS, the DH4300. This is this really got me going. I wanted one of these, and I still do. It's been reduced in price. This is a bundle deal, actually, it's worth saying. This is a Ugreen NAS, the DH4300, plus 4-bay NAS with a 120 watt UPS bundled in with it. The NAS itself has 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. It's got a 2.5 gigabyte Ethernet on the side of it, which is really nice. And it's got AI powered family album crap that they mention. But it takes 4 3.5 millimeter hard drives, and the uninterrupted power supply, the UPS, is a 1200 milliamp hour 12,000 milliamp hour the battery backup that you can plug into it. So if your power goes out, you're not going to potentially corrupt the innards of your NAS, and it'll go, oh, hang on a second, and it'll kick in and allow for a little more power before safely closing down the NAS whenever the uninterrupted power supply starts to run out of juice. It's a really nice combination of things that they've put together, and it was £455.98, which was the recommended price, because it's 2 different items added together. But they were doing the 2 of them for £368 and 3p, and that seemed like an absolute corker of a deal. But because I'm a peasant who lives in Northern Ireland, I can't get the deal. Because there's a battery in the Ugreen uninterrupted power supply. Really annoying. But what a fantastic deal that is. I would absolutely love that. Yeah, there's no drives obviously included in it. It's just a shell. But you go out and buy yourself a couple of 22 or 24 terabyte drives, throw them in there, and then start populating it. Buying 4 of them, that's about £1,000 worth. No, it's about £2,000 worth. Chuck them all in, and you've got a whole media server for you to start filling. Oh, that would be so much fun. Oh, I'd love that.
One of these days I'll get into this whole NAS thing. You're dragging me along bit by bit. I think gaming is next.
No, we tried you on gaming. You didn't like that. You moved away.
Anyway, yeah.
Right.
Good bundle.
Cool. Loads of stuff for anyone to buy with Christmas right around the corner. Oh, my family's just come home with McDonald's. Very nice.
Ah.
Right, if you want to get in touch with us, you can by emailing us at gareth@techaddicts.uk. You can find us on Twitter or X at techaddictsuk, or you can find me on Twitter or X at Gareth Miles, GarethMyles. I have Mastodon, I have Blue Sky, and I also have my GarethMiles.com. There's also a link in the show notes for a coffee link if you want to buy me or Ted a coffee. Ted, where can they find you?
At tedsalmon.com and on MeWe. That's where I am, and that's where you'll find links to all the stuff I do, including the audio podcasts and the actually, we've got two coming up. There's two more coming up this week. We've got Projector Room on Wednesday, and we've got Whatever Works on Tuesday with Aidan Bell. So watch out for those in the coming week. But yeah, tedsalmon.com.
Yeah, groovy, and that's us for until August.
August, yeah.
We're heading off on our hollyballs, so we'll be back on the 2nd of August with Series 4 of the show. Take care now.
Goodbye.